Welcome to Follow the Content Leaders, a podcast where we will learn how leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs, coaches, and consultants use their content in their business strategies. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Tom. I'm super happy to be here with you today. Tom is a serial SaaS entrepreneur. He has founded AI Writer SEOwind, through which he helps agencies and SaaS companies build content through implementing AI solutions. Good morning. How are you?
Hey Monica, I'm really good. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. And how are you?
Good. My pleasure to have you here with us today. I always like to start these interviews with a quick question of what is the one thing that you cannot work without in your office?
So definitely, when it comes to working on daily basis, I can't live without AI. Like I'm a half a programmer, half a developer, so I try to use
Mm-hmm.
it in many cases to help me out with the things that I'm weak with. Like so, I actually think about it as a superpower. Like so, AI is like a superpower that we can use. Like we as humans have superpowers. AI has superpowers, so let's combine them together and make ourselves better, make ourselves kind of cyborgs, so something
Mm-hmm.
that can be far better because we can amplify the skills that we already have with the skills that AI has. And when it comes to a bit of my personal life connected to work, I would say I can't live out with running because, like, when I don't run, I'm starting to be grumpy.
I can relate to that definitely. I'm a runner too, so there are some days in which you just need to go and get some steps in, and I can relate to that completely. Cool. So tell us a bit more about what exactly does your company do. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about AI, so happy to learn exactly how you're using AI in all of your daily tasks. But first, let's you can explain to me what does your company do.
So SEO Wind is a tool that does the research part for AI writing. Like for us, AI writing is kind of a cherry on the top. But to be honest, the 90% of the process is actually to do the research and find all the information that we need to provide to AI so it writes something that is not fluff, empty
Mm-hmm.
words, spam. Because like right now, if you're on LinkedIn, you definitely saw so many messages saying like AI creates spam. It just regurgitates the same things over and over again. It's not helpful, therefore it will be de-indexed by Google. So this is exactly what we don't want. Like, so we want to approach finding and researching things just like a human would do. Like, so go to different places, source data from different places, source data also like from special matter experts, compile it all together, and then give it to AI in a digestible way so it can create and help us write articles that make sense, are full of data, values, internal links, external links, and everything together. That is basically
Mm-hmm.
the definition of helpful content. And this way, we can grow much faster. We can grow actually according to Google's rules. Like we don't have to fear about the next Google update that it will remove our content from the internet because we're
Mm-hmm.
creating helpful content. So this cooperation between, like, we try to flourish the cooperation between humans and AI to make it simple, but at the same time, we know that humans have a lot of superpowers that I said before that can input the value into writing process.
Yeah, super interesting. I agree so much on the fact that even when you're writing as a human, not as an AI tool, 90% of the work before you, or whenever you write a piece of content is investigation. And so, like, even in normal life, before AI, before everything changed with ChatGPT, when I started learning about copywriting and writing content, which was way before that, 90% of the job of any copywriter or any writer was the investigation process, understanding the pains and the desires of the client and how can you solve those and how can you inspire emotions that trigger then the actions, right? So it's super interesting that you are also approaching AI to be used for content in this way, whether that instead of on the other side of like everyone is doing it, just giving it the few amount of information possible to see if we can create the best output possible, which is it just doesn't make real sense. So
Exactly. Like
yeah, sorry.
for me, like AI, instead of being a search engine, it's a logical engine. So like it helps me out to think through. So it's just like a human. If I'm a copywriter, I don't know everything about everything, basically,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really a good logical engine. So I can like start researching things and put things together like puzzles, but I need to have them. Like if I don't have my computer, if I don't have access to the internet, if I don't have access to the books, like I'm left with the knowledge that I have, like that I learned. And to be honest, like I don't have enough to write about everything. So AI is just the
Mm-hmm.
same. Like it's really a great logical engine, but it's not great search engine. So like we have to deliver the values, the information, so it knows what to pick from what and how to use it when copywriting.
Yeah, you have to train it just like a human brain, right?
Exactly.
Yes. And then we've said you're a serial entrepreneur, so I'm also curious as to see what have you built in the past. So what were the companies you built? Do they still exist? How is that?
Yeah, I started with a content marketing agency, which was a decade ago. Like, but then a couple of our friends started to build a tool for testing developer skills online, and this is what we
Mm-hmm.
built. Like, we built one of the five biggest tools out there that are testing developer skills. At the moment, it's called DevSkiller. We have customers in over 100 countries. So it's really big one, and it also what it can do, it can map the skills inside the company. So like we basically know who
Mm-hmm.
has what kind of skills inside, so we know how to use this when working and when actually taking building teams for specific tasks. I was there like the chief growth officer. Of course, like I was the founder. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
half a developer, half a marketer. But basically,
Okay.
what I was responsible for was building traffic. Either it's outbound traffic or organic traffic. I was the person that was responsible for that, and I was building a lot of briefs also because like we built a lot of organic traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with building organic traffic is that briefs takes time. Like I
Mm-hmm.
hate doing briefs. I'll be honest. Like I really hate it because it's a repetitive process that you have to go over and over. It takes an hour to 2 hours to actually do it in a proper way.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to simplify it. So when I had a chance, I started to build SEOwind that was supposed to build briefs for humans. And then we
Mm-hmm.
realized that briefing humans is no different than briefing AI.
Interesting how everything is interconnected, right?
Exactly. This was my pain.
You solved your own pain and now you're solving it for others, and that's how the best business ideas come. So that's cool. And now we are going to dive a bit more into the content creation section of the conversation. So how have you used content both to build the previous company that you had, this human resource tool, or the content that the company that you're now working on?
So previously, when I didn't have like AI and access to AI, I was doing it manually, but basically I was doing the research. So I was using Google for researching,
Mm-hmm.
mostly Google for researching the search intent, because I know from by a fact that I don't know what's the search intent many times. Like I'm mistaken. I've been mistaken so many times about that. I thought that something is should be the search intent and it wasn't. uh, that like I knew that I need to check it, and then I go to Ahrefs, SEMrush, and I check like what kind of keywords they rank for. Then I do additional research for data and so on. So I wanted to simplify the whole process. And this is how I'm using AI. But what I know at each step that I'm simplifying the process, I need to deliver the content, the context to
Mm-hmm.
AI so it knows where to choose from. Because if we ask, for example, AI, like, what are the keywords for this and this topic? It will answer us. And this is the biggest problem of AI because it always answers. Even if it doesn't know, it will answer. So the
Yes.
problem of that is that it doesn't have access to the data about keywords. So it will give you some words. You can also ask your friend about it, and they will also give you logical answer. but it doesn't mean that it will be a true answer. So we had to like design the whole process of feeding the data into AI so it has the context to answer the question. Although just a week ago I was using Gemini 1.5, and the first time in my life it answered me, I don't have enough context to answer the
Mm.
question. I was like, really? You've
So
learned
they're
something.
teaching them.
And I thought that it did, to be honest. So like that was amazing. But still, so this is the whole part. But if you nail the search intent, if you do the research in the proper way, you will build organic traffic. So this was what I
Mhm.
did in my previous company. I did it with many other startups because I helped them to build organic traffic. And I'm doing the
Mhm.
same with SEOwind. We're using our own tool for building organic traffic. To be honest, I don't understand why other AI writing tools are not using their own tools. Do they
Maybe
don't
they're not
believe
so
in them?
happy about the results
I
of
don't
their
know. Like if
tools.
you're selling something to your customers, like at least use it like for your own company. So
It makes sense, yeah.
and we're doing it this way, but I believe in something that I call cyborg method. So a human working with AI, not AI taking over humans' jobs, or like we
Hmm.
both can help each other. We have like the knowledge that AI doesn't have. We talk to the customers, we talk to the product team, we talk to many people. We have like a lot of experience that we can share with AI, and we can share like and edit the content that AI produces to add value on top. I
Hmm.
strongly believe when you're creating content to create kind of a sandwich, like which 70% is like the search intent and 30% is like the value on top. Why
Hmm.
did Reddit blow up in the last Google content update? Because there's a lot of opinions there. Google loves
Hmm.
opinions at the moment. This is like the proof that human was there to add an opinion. AI doesn't have the opinions. They don't talk to the customers. So find the
Yeah.
value in yourself and add it there. Like this is my approach and it's working for us. Like we can grow thanks to that.
Super interesting. And all these organic traffic that you're generating, where are you publishing the content to generate that traffic? So, which platforms are you using?
So basically, I'm using most of the organic traffic that I'm getting is from my own blog. So this is
Hmm.
definitely a place where I use my own tool to create content that drives organic traffic. Sometimes I use it for guest posting. So I use different platforms, different companies to guest post and publish something on their pages. But also, like I'm driving a lot of traffic from LinkedIn. There, I'm like not using AI at not so much.
Hmm. And why are you not using it so much for the LinkedIn
I
content?
didn't find it. I mainly use it for rewriting stuff, like to just so it makes like sounds better.
Hmm.
But for me, LinkedIn is a place where you need to write in a more concise way, shorter, and more thoughts in it. Like so, rather thought leadership content that is short, concise, and up to the point. So there, I feel that I can add a lot more from my side.
More than what the AI is going to add. So then you just take over instead of using the tool, I
Exactly, and I'm
guess.
using it for rewriting, like so it sounds better.
Yes, I use it to rewrite constantly, just because it gives you another way to say the same thing that you have in your mind, and then you can adapt from there. And so you're creating almost everything through blog posts. I get those posts are only text based, or do you use also designs, images, videos? Do you add any visuals to your posts?
I do. We try to combine it as much as possible because for me, content has to be screenable, something that is a food for your eyes. So if you screen
Mm-hmm.
through the article, like you will see like where you want to stop. Nobody reads right now the whole article. I don't believe in that. But like if you have some kind of images, videos, I try to add it all together and combine it so it's easier for the person to digest the content. And also, if it's easier and better for the humans, Google also likes it better.
Yes. I don't know how they know that, but I definitely agree. And in terms of the whole process, when you're creating content for yourself or your company, which is the part of the process that you kind of enjoy the most?
I love finding niches that I can write, like o- topics and niches that I can write about. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
part that I feel a lot of people sit down and they can't answer a simple question. For me, simple, but like it's a difficult question. That what to write about? What kind of things should I focus on to drive organic traffic? Where will I get the organic traffic from? I can see that many people struggle that. And to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I really love to do the research to find all the topics, like write down like the content calendar for the next few months, just to understand exactly what kind of topics we can work on and how to curate the whole content that we're building. Because in my opinion, it's not a one-off thing. So like you have to think in a bigger picture. If you're creating a specific content, you have to think how to curate it on LinkedIn or the other way around, just to use the same knowledge that you already published somehow in a different way. Maybe turn it into a video, maybe publish it on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn post, maybe do a
Mm-hmm.
carousel, maybe do a presentation, a workshop. It's like anything that you can do with that. But like I'm really love the initial phase when you have to define what to go after.
Yeah, all of this strategic thinking, right? The planification, the investigation to then plan, but
I'm a
more of
data guy. Like I love
yeah.
numbers. Like I love big numbers.
Cool, cool, cool. And then, just because we've spoken so much about AI and you are using it so much in your day to day, what would you say is the number one tool that anyone creating content should be using? Any AI tool besides ChatGPT and your own tool? Which other tools?
No, like if you're not talking about ChatGPT, definitely go to both Claude and Gemini. Gemini is right now for free, as far as I remember. So have fun with it. Right now it's Gemini 1.5, and I really love it. I enjoy it far better than ChatGPT because it's more concise, more precise, especially good for B2B.
Hmm.
I would do it. Sometimes what I also do, I combine two. So I'm building something in one and then I'm rephrasing it in another one, just like
Mm.
so kind of, and like I'm using the second one as an editor. So also like think about it. You can use Gemini and Claude as editors because they have like you can basically input a little bit more than in
Hmm.
ChatGPT. This is definitely something that I would advise. But focus on the research. Like whatever tool you're using, I always say a fool with a tool is still a fool. So if you don't use it in a proper way, you will not create magic. Like you can have like the best tool in the world. If you don't feed it with data, like it will not do miracles.
Of course, it's not a magician, right? You need to feed it
Exactly.
with the right information to then get the right output. What comes in then goes out, basically.
Exactly.
And then I'm curious because at the beginning of this talk, you mentioned that you're using AI for everything, so maybe also for some personal things. Are you using some AI tools for, I don't know, personal trainings, plannings, or not?
Definitely, I'm doing chat storming. So sometimes, like I call it this way, so it's kind of a brainstorming, but with chat. So like I'm using it kind of as a
Mm-hmm.
mirror that I can talk to. I think you had an
Okay.
episode where you had like a person talking to a duck, like because this is what developers do. They
Mm-hmm.
talk to a
Yes.
duck. Like I do talk to ChatGPT in the same way, just to figure out what my mind wants to say out loud. Just
Mm-hmm.
to find the path that I can go after. What I also use it because I'm a half a developer. I like, and I'm really a bad developer. Like my code looks really bad, so I love to use it for coding because then my code starts to look far better, and I can resolve things that I wasn't able to resolve like earlier. So you can amplify on the skills that you don't are not a professional in. And personally, what I started to use ChatGPT, especially with the new features that came out like last week,
Mm-hmm.
is to play around with children. So like actually help them out to teach themselves. just to understand how it works, and it's actually a lot of
Hmm.
fun.
How did you do that? Were you with a child and he was asking questions to ChatGPT, or?
So basically, we started with some math problems, like just to how to
Hmm.
resolve certain math problems where GPT, like on the phone, can help you out. And when you do a picture and when you show him like the math problem, he can analyze how to go through certain steps
Hmm.
of like the math problem. I'm still waiting for the live version that they showed with the video that they can actually go with the things that you're doing live, and would love to see it. But definitely
Hmm.
see a lot of potential in helping to understand how to resolve problems, not to tell you what are the results, but help you understand how to teach yourself.
Yeah. Again, you need to ask the right questions, right? Because otherwise, it
Sure.
will give you the answer directly. So you need to
And
be
many times
mindful
a
of
bad
that.
answer. I'll tell
Yes.
you a test that I did just 2 weeks ago, and I do it every so often just to see if something changed. So I went with my children. I have like 7 and 9-year-old children, and I gave
Hmm.
them a text of 31 words length, and I told them like, "Look, can you count the words? Easy as that."
Hmm.
Of course, like my children are brilliant, so they could count to 31, and they did it correctly. I did it the same thing with ChatGPT for all.
Hmm.
31 words, no a long text. It started with like 33. So I said, like, look, ChatGPT, I think you're off by two. Maybe like recount it. So it went back like, and it said like 34. It's like, ah, you're off like right now by three. So what do you think? And then it went to a process like where it used Python. So a
Hmm.
simple function like to count the words, and it was accurate. So AI is not best in everything. Sometimes you have to use like normal logic, normal programming to resolve certain
Hmm.
problems. AI guesses things. It's quite accurate because let's say like 31 to 33, that's kind of accurate, but it
It's
guesses.
okay, but it's still something that it's not
Exactly.
perfect,
But you
right?
have to understand how it works. So to know what kind of problems you'll run into.
Super interesting. Last question, and we will be done. I just really like to consume content, both online but also offline. So I love reading books. And that's why I always ask my guests, what is the book that you have loved the most or that has impacted you the most?
I would go with something that helped me of becoming less lazy. I'm a lazy person.
Hmm.
And it's Atomic Habits, like just to learn how to do certain things and how to implement habits into your own life to make your life better, and how to remove some bad habits, of course, from your life. So this helped me out a lot, and it's fun to read.
Yes, I've read that book too, and it also kind of impacted me how I now approach anytime I want to build a new habit or start doing something new, how you can pair it with something that you usually do to make it easier. It is very smart.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, for example, I was like looking at too much on Facebook. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of saying to myself like, "No, you can't watch Facebook," like, or you can't go into, I actually changed it and said like, "Okay, you can go like for 5 minutes of Facebook, but you have to do 10 push-ups." After a month, I stopped doing push-ups and I stopped looking at Facebook.
Good. You could have kept
Yeah,
the push-ups.
yeah, yeah. I know, but like it worked. So
Amazing. So thank you so much for joining us today, Tom, and go and have a lovely day.
you too, have fun, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Bye bye.